States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
I pledge my head to clear thinking, my heart to greater loyalty, my hands to my hands to better helping, and my health to better living, for my club, my community, my country, and my world. I blanked on that part.
And for better service.
I did not fuck that.
Once again, thank you to the Rolling Hills 4-H Club for starting our festivities here today. If you are in class number 1 of senior showmanship and need to be making your way to the ring, last call for class 1 senior showmanship. I believe there is 12 classes of showmanship today across all of our 3 divisions, so great to see large numbers. It's going to be 3 classes of seniors. We'll get through those, and we'll invite the top ones that he wanted to have pulled back to come back and compete for the champion senior showman. Then we'll go into the intermediates. Final call, class 1 senior showmanship. Okay, I believe some of the printed copies, from what I understand, have just 3 classes of senior showmanship. There was a decision made this morning. It's actually getting split out over 4. So if you're an exhibitor and you're seeing 4 classes, let's just keep going with that. We will get the paperwork straightened on our side. Once again, this is class number 1 seniors at the ring. We need to have class number 2 senior showmanship ready to go.
Well, in this first heat in senior showmanship, excellent job, all of you. I know we have 4 heats, and so it's kind of a judgment's call as to who I'm asking back. But I think in this particular group, let's give them a quick round of applause and thank them for their efforts. You know, showmanship can change from one class to the next. The bovine has to work with the exhibitor, and the exhibitor has to work with the bovine, and obviously that can change dramatically from one class to the next. But I think in this particular one, I'm pretty satisfied to ask 2 of you back. I'm going to give the rest of you a blue ribbon, but I think these 2 young people off to my left maybe show me just a little more poise and maybe got things together just a little bit better this morning. So those 2 are going to come back, and the 4 of you will be blue ribbon winners. The Hereford cow, that's an awful hard one to show because I'm sure she's one to be with mother. The next 3 did probably just a little neater job. Excellent young showmen, and I think they're definitely deserving of blue ribbon, but the purple are going to go to the 2 to the left. Nice way to start the morning's showmanship.
Top 2 Purple Award winners from class number 1, senior showman, Tatum Schroeder and Hayden Warner. They'll come back and compete for the overall senior. Receiving blues in the class, Miley Gaddy, Boston Crawford, Peyton Humphreys, Caleb Schnelly. At the ring, class number 2, senior showman. First call for class number 3, senior showman. Easiest way to follow at the moment due to the extra class is if you have the Showman app, you can go to showman.app. That's on your browser, on your phone, and search for Gage County. Scroll down today's schedule, and you will see for Friday the showmanship classes. Just click on that, and it'll pull it up. Once again, showman.app. Second call, class 2, senior showman. Second call, class 2. Final call for Class 3 Senior Showmanship. Final call, Class 3.
Well, probably as we compare this heat to the heat just in front of these kids, they've had a little more to work with. The cattle probably weren't working quite as well as the ones in the first heat, so it's a little harder to show them. But again, let's give them a round of applause, and we'll quickly talk and tell you a few things. First of all, I was talking to the young man with the steer on the end. He's very capable of making it into this topper group here in a bit, but today he's not going to, and it's not anything that he did wrong. It's just that the old steer just didn't want to cooperate, and I could tell the minute he walked in the ring that quite possibly it may have been the first time the steer had been shown, and the young man said yes, it was. So you have to understand, if he's only been here for a day or so and he comes in, he's probably not going to act like some of these that have been showed all spring. So he's done an excellent job. He's got a very good steer, but that's why he isn't going to be asked back today, and it's nothing really he did wrong. It's just the calf just isn't quite ready to come out and do to his top for showmanship, but he's doing an excellent job, and you give him another round or two here this afternoon, I'll bet you the calf works perfectly. The young man just in front of him probably could have been just a bit better when we were given directions, but he did an excellent job of getting that heifer set up, putting her to what I like to see very, very well. Same with the young lady with the white heifer. She's not the easiest to show, but I think you can tell she's got some experience, and they've done it a few times. White heifer, the young man has second over here to my right. She's too a handful to show, and he kind of maybe gets just a little nervous trying to get things done maybe quicker than they need to happen, but that's what showmanship about, 4-H is about, it's learning by doing. And a black heifer over here to my right, the young man's heifer is a nice heifer and a good one to show. He maybe doesn't get her put together quite as well as a couple of the others out here, but again, I think it's very close. I'm going to ask the young lady with the white heifer, the young man circling with the black heifer to come back. They'll be your purple ribbon winners. The other three will be blues.
Top two purples in class number 2 of seniors goes to Claire Schnelly of DeWitt. Other purple award winner coming back to compete for overall senior will be Landry Krause of Burr. Receiving blues in the class, Gage Argo, Zach Schnelly, and Logan Koenig. Entering the ring is class 3 of 4 of the senior showman. This is class 3, first call for class number 4. I'd like to welcome our judge today. It's Kevin Jansen. He's from Portland, Kansas, so just south of here. He has a ranch where he raises Hereford and Angus. Does that with his wife Sheila, and they also have one son that's there. He does have another son that he said is in law school, and he's over in Europe at the moment, and a daughter who also lives down in Kansas. Kevin, if he looks familiar, he said he has judged here at the Gage County Fair probably about 5 years ago, and we've also had the privilege of having his son here as well. Please welcome today our judge, Kevin Jansen. Final call for class number 3, senior showman. Final call, class 3. Excuse me, class number 4 would be final call, class 4.
Well, again, in this third heat, a lot of good young folks to work with. Let's give them a round of applause for their efforts. And I think in this particular one, again, I'm going to pick two, and it'll be the young lady with the Hereford heifer and the young man with the market heifer right behind there. Just the way they handle themselves and the way the cattle are working for them, I think it just gives them that little bit of an added advantage. And I think the rest of you are all going to get blues. And you can say, well, that young man with the white steer calf just wouldn't work. Well, he hasn't worked that well today for the young man Sean, but you can tell that he's spending a tremendous amount of time working at home with him by his hair coat. You can tell that he didn't just come out of the dry lot. He worked with him. And so can you be critical of that? That's part of this project. So I think he too needs to be a blue ribbon. Let's give them all a round of applause as they leave the ring.
The top two from class number 3 returning to compete for the champion senior showman will be Elise Derrickson and Dayton Pullman. Receiving blues in class 3, Bentley Myers, Austin Costel, and Dalton Dorn, as well as Chase Larson. At the gate is our final class of senior showmen. This is class number 4. If you were one of the Purple Award winners in class 1, 2, or 3, second call to have you up at the ring. Purple Award winners from 1, 2, and 3. Final call for our first two Purple Award winners from Class 1, 2, and 3. Please be up at the gate. Purple Award winners from 1, 2, and 3.
Well, in this final heat of senior showmanship, again, we have some super folks showing, and that's all of you. Let's give them a round of applause as well. Nice group. In this particular heat, I'm going to pick the three middle youth. It'll be the young man right in front of me, the young lady with the yellow steer, and the young lady with the black heifer. And that's not to take a thing away from you folks. The young man to my right, I said either you have a twin or you've been cloned, because I swore you were out here just a little bit ago. Good does a nice job. He's just in with some kids that maybe are just working at it just a little bit harder. The two young men, the young brothers that have the Longhorn heifers, they did an excellent job of showing those heifers. Now, I don't know how you or I would do it, but it takes some long arm youth to be able to show them as well as they have. And one thing's for sure, they've got them broke. They lead, they work, they do perfect. So hats off to both of you. It's a challenge just to show those boogers, because their horns are longer than your arms are. But you did an excellent job, and you've definitely, Cal, you've worked with them very much. So again, let's give them a round of applause, and we'll have our champion line up here in a minute.
Results from Class 4. The three top Purple Award winners that will come back is going to be Addison Koenig, Luke Katz, and Grace Lovell. Receiving blues in that class, Jacob Wallenberg, Preston Costal, and Austin Costal. In the ring, this is going to be selection for our champion and reserve senior showman. Out of class number 1, we have Hayden Warner, Tatum Schroeder. Class 2, Landry Kraus and Claire Schnelly. Out of class 3, Elise Derrickson, Dayton Pullman. And out of that class 4, Addison Koenig, Grace Lovell, and Luke Katz. First call for Class 5 Intermediate Showman. First call, Class 5. Second call for intermediate showmanship. That'd be the first group of intermediates in the program. That'd be class number 5, intermediate showmanship. Final call, class 5 intermediates. Final call for that first group of intermediates.
Folks, if you put your hands together and thank these young people on the side over here, we're going to work these other 4 just a little bit harder, but excellent job as senior showmen. Well, folks, let me be quite honest with you. This is pretty tough because you could turn your head and change your mind. That's how close it is between the three that I'm going to talk about first. The young man over here to my, I should say, I'm going to talk about the young man to my left first. Obviously, he's a bit younger than these kids in front of him, and Keffer's now starting not walk, act like she should, but I thought he deserved to get to be in this top cut. But the three that are in front of him, it gets really tough. I think you could make a case for any one of the three and not be wrong. The worst part is one of you has to be third. And that's awful, awful tough because I think you've done an excellent job. You've prepared the cattle. You've got them working. The young lady does an excellent job. And not always did the heifer respond to the halter like you'd like her to. And she just didn't act like it. She just went right on through it. And that's what a good showman does. You don't show nervousness. You just go with the flow. And that's the best way to be a good showman is they're not always going to act perfect, but you got to kind of act like they do. So that's excellent. So I like that. The young man, the taller young man, everybody was circling. You just stood right there, and she stayed right there with you. That's really good, and that's what I like to see. So I didn't make it any easier between those two. And then the young man that's right behind him, he's worked extremely hard with this heifer, you can tell, and everything kind of correlates and everything kind of works. He may have got just a little nervous a time or two here towards the end, which you'd like to see, but it made it tougher. It made it a lot tougher because, to be honest with you had it won up until that point. But let's just do it this way. The young lady's going to be championed, and this young man right in front of me is going to be reserve, and they did an excellent, excellent job.
Champion senior showman at the Gage County Fair this year goes to Tatum Schroeder of Beatrice. Reserve champion Hayden Warner of Wilbur. Receiving third, Luke Katz of Beatrice. And fourth, Dayton Pullman of DeWitt.
Yeah.
Luke. Okay. All right. Excuse me, Luke Katz was the reserve, and Hayden Warner was third. In the ring now is our first class of intermediate showmen. First call for Class 6 intermediate showmen. Reminder to the 4 seniors in that last selection, you will come back and compete for the overall showman. That will take place after the selection of our junior division.
Well, as we get to the next younger group, every bit as competitive and every bit as good a showman as we had in the senior, let's give these young folks a round of applause. You probably noticed that I give the kids that get to come back a purple and I give the rest of them a blue, and it may vary a little bit in how they've done, but in this particular group, the 3 that are going to not get asked to come back are very, very good young showmen. I'm going to use the 2 young ladies, though, to my left to get to come back. Their poise and just the way they've worked with their heifers just have a little bit of an added advantage today. Let's give those 2, as the 3 remain, another round of applause.
At the gate coming in will be our second group of intermediate showmen in the class 6. Results from the first class of intermediate showmen receiving purples and coming back. Congratulations to Dayton Dorn of Adams and Laney Tronick of Wymore. Receiving blues in the class, Karsten Schnelly, Caden Allington, and Hannah Schnelly. First call for our third group of intermediate showmen, Class 7. First call for intermediate showmen, Class 7. There will be 4 classes of intermediates today, 4 classes. Second call for the third class of intermediate showmen. Second call for the third class of intermediate showmen. Final call for the third group of intermediate showmen. Final call. Looks like we have a great crowd today, which is good to see. If you do have anybody at home or throughout the country or world for that matter that are interested in watching the showman today, just a reminder to go to the Gage County YouTube page, and all these livestock shows are being streamed. Thank you to Sean Crackey for continuing to do that each year. He sits over here in the corner. It's a great thing that he does. Appreciate that. And as well as if you want to follow the program today, just go to your browser on your phone, type in showman.app, and it'll pull it up. Search for the Gage County Fair, and you can follow the program along on your phone.
Well, in each heat, I'll probably mention something that I've noticed that maybe this doesn't need to always be talked about in every class, but we've seen it a couple of 3 times today, and I don't know if it's if they have to come in order, so I don't want to be hard on the youngster for that. But in a couple of cases, even besides this young lady off over here to my left, she's got a young baby heifer that obviously hasn't probably been to town before. But if she doesn't have to come in first, I would probably say next time come in the second or third or fourth in the lineup, because that'll sometimes help with her wanting to get broke to lead. And I've noticed it a couple times today, but I wasn't sure if you've been asked to come in first, you don't have any choice. You have to go in first. But if you don't have a choice, sometimes it's best to just follow in, and hopefully she'll kind of catch on. But an excellent young lady, you've done an excellent job. I think in this particular group, we have 2 that probably just kind of stand out again, be the young lady right here straight front and the young man right behind her. The rest of you done an excellent job. And one thing I've noticed too is in this particular group, when somebody needed a little bit of help, you helped them. This young man right here, the second in, he maybe didn't help her how I'd have done it, but he put his old shoulder into this heifer in front of her, made her go. You know, and that's part of showmanship, so good job. Let's give him another round of applause, and we'll come in with another group.
Results of Class 6 in the Intermediate Showman class consisting of 2 purples and 4 blues. Receiving purples that'll come back and compete for the overall intermediate is going to be Emmeline Burkett of Wilbur and Lane Schnelly of Diller. Yep, Lane Schnelly of Diller, yep. Receiving blues, Jonah Lovell, Landon Cook, Isabella Warner, and Hunter Keedy. Entering the ring is going to be our 3rd class of intermediates. This will be class 3 of 4. First call for the last class of intermediate showmen. First call, last class intermediates. Second call for the last group of intermediates. Second call, last group of intermediates. Final call for last class of intermediates. Final call, last class intermediates.
Well, in this particular group, some of the cattle really weren't wanting to work the best for them, and I guess with a nice morning like this, I'd probably be feeling my oats as well. Let's give them all a round of applause, and I'll tell you the two that are going to get to come back. I think in this particular group, it was relatively easy to see those two kind of come together, and it'll be this young lady with the white heifer and the young man turning there right now. Are they going to be the two purples? Let's give those two a round of applause, and as the rest of you leave, let's give the rest of them. They had to work pretty hard. The cattle were working them pretty hard.
Congratulations, your Purple Award winners out of that class that'll come back and compete for the overall intermediates is Corbin Kuntz of Wilbur and Charity Schnelly of DeWitt. Receiving blues in that class, Henry Rasser, Augie Wallenberg, Miles Esau, Creighton Koenig, and Paisley Seabrandt, as well as Claire Lovell. Entering now is our fourth and final class of intermediates. Following this class, we will need the Purple Award winners from the first three classes of intermediates. They'll come back and compete for the overall intermediate showman. Final call for our Purple Award winners out of classes, are the 1, 2, and 3 of the intermediates. Please be up at the ring. Final call for our Purple Award winners from the first 3 intermediate classes.
Well, again, in this heat, I'm going to be a lucky one. I thought there was 2 that probably just was a little bit more, had a little more poise and posture was working for them because the heifers were working a little bit better for them. And then I got to looking at them, and I believe they're probably clones. So we're going to pick these 2 young men that look like twins, and then the rest of you are going to be a tie for 3rd, but an excellent group again. Let's give all these young people a round of applause. Purple Award winners out of the last class of intermediates goes to Samuel and Liam Schnellies of Diller. Receiving blues, Kinley Allington, Bo McClintock, Jared Linder, and Harper Schmidt. Entering the ring, this is going to be for our overall intermediate showman. Out of the first class of intermediates, Laney Tronick and Dayton Dorn. Second class intermediates, Lane Schnelly, Emlyn Burkett. Third class, Corbin Kuntz and Charity Schnelly. And out of the last class, Liam Schnelly and Samuel Schnelly.
in the first class of junior showmanship, please make your way to the ring. Be second call for the junior showman. Be the first class of juniors.
Well, just as we done in the senior showmanship, I'm going to ask 4 to come over here, and we're going to release the other group of kids, but we'll work those 4 just a little bit more. But before we do that, let's give them all a round of applause. Actually, a group of young showmen.
Final call for the first class of junior showmen. Final call, first class of juniors.
Well, this is a tough one, this particular division. Very, very competitive. Not much difference in any one of you 4 that are out here vying for champion. And it's just personal preference because the way you handle yourselves and the way the cattle have worked for you have been fine. I think there's one, though, that maybe just gives me just an advantage when I'm watching them, and it'll be this young lady right in front of me. She'll be your champion in this division. Now for reserve, it gets really, really close because there's just not much difference. But I think I'm going to follow her with this young lady that came in right in front of her. She'll be your reserve. I talked to this young man earlier and I said, you know, just chill just a little bit because you can tell he's out here going to try to win. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes maybe in this judge's opinion, maybe just relax just a little bit, but you're an excellent showman, and just that drive alone, you'll be third. And the young lady that's fourth today, excellent job. I don't think there's much difference, as I said, just a matter of opinion. But again, let's give them all a round of applause as they leave the ring. Your 2026 champion intermediate showman here at the Gage County Fair. Congratulations, Dayton Dorn of Adams. Reserve champion, Laney Tronick of Wymore. Third overall, Corbin Kuntz of Wilbur. And fourth, Emmeline Burkett of Wilbur. Entering the ring is going to be our first class of junior showmanship. There will be 5 classes of juniors today. First class of junior showman at the ring. If you're in the second group of junior showmen, you can start making your way to the ring. Second class of junior showmen. There's only 3 exhibitors in this first class. Final call for the second class of juniors.
So the fourth one, she shows horses, so I'm assuming she's tied
people understand.
Like I said, we've got to get through everyone at the end.
Yeah, that's. Yep.
Unfortunate sometimes how the cookie crumbles.
Yep.
And he does know he can keep one out of this class, he can keep two, he can keep all three. So
Okay. Yep. It'll be
I
fair.
have said that.
Yeah, it's different if you're showing every different species and have to do that, but when you just sneak in a different class or something, that's where it gets a little. And the gate guy should catch that too and not allow it. It's not your fault.
This particular heat's a little smaller than what we're going to have and what we've had, just simply because of people showing other species right now. So hats off to them. I think in this particular group, I'm going to save two of you. Will be the two young girls, and the young man will be the blue ribbon winner, and it's very, very close between he and the girls just in front of him. Let's give them a round of applause, and we'll ask these girls to come back.
Purple Award winners out of our first class to junior showman, Ella Schnelly and Blakely Katz. Receiving a blue, Trevin Dorn. At the gate, this will be our second class of junior showmen. First call for Class 3 Junior Showman. First call for Class 3. If you are here today for Pee Wee Showmanship, that will happen once we get done with the junior classes and then selection. We're going to bring back the seniors, the intermediates, and the juniors to compete for the overall top 4 showmen. Following that, we'll have the Pee Wee Showmanship. All you need to do is just find an exhibitor with an animal, make sure it's okay to use it, and no sign up is needed, just meet at the gate. They'll probably break it into a couple different classes. So that is going to be following our overall selection. Second call for the third class of junior showmen. Second call for the third class. Final call for the third group of junior showmen. Final call, third group.
Well, in this heat, I think it gets down to just having a little more experience. I think it's really, really close in that second and third as far as making the cut. But this young man right down here will make the cut. This young lady right here in front of me will make the cut. And the young man right over here, and I guess right behind the white steer, was very, very close to making it. Let's give him a round of applause as we ask him to come back.
Congratulations, purples out of that second class of juniors is Grayson Krause and Collins Meir. Receiving blues, Wyatt Pullman, Carson Costel, Leo Rasser, and Judd Holsing. In the ring now is our third class of juniors, third of 5. First call for fourth class of juniors. Second call for the fourth class of juniors. Second call for the fourth class. If you are hungry for some popcorn, we'd like to thank First State Bank of Nebraska. They are by the overhead door just to the west of the stands here. Free popcorn, go on over and see them. Thanks again to First State Bank of Nebraska, a longtime supporter of the Gage County Fair. Final call, class number 4, Junior Showman. Final call for the fourth class of the Junior Showman.
Well, this actually is a fantastic key to young showman. I'm going to actually pick 3 out of this group. I'm going to pick the young man to my left, the young man in front of him, and the young lady with the bucket calf. They've done an excellent job. And not to take a thing away from you 3 just in front of there, the old red and white steer, he's so tame that he's just kind of wants to go where he wants to go, but it's not that she doesn't have him broke. He just knows what he can do. The young lady's black calf just didn't want to respond to the holder very well, but she's an excellent showman, as well as the young man with the Hereford. But these 3 are going to ask 3 of you to come back, okay? Let's give them a round of applause. Nice group.
Receiving purples in the third class of Junior Showman is Dempsey Dorn, Corbin Schroeder, and Marie Lovell. Receiving blues, Sloan Esau, Cole Larson, and Kinley Naveen. Entering now will be our 4th of 5 class of Junior Showman. First call, class 5 Junior Showman. Second call for the final class of junior showmen. Second call for the final class of juniors. Final call for the fifth group of juniors. Final call, fifth group of juniors.
Well, this has been a difficult one because we have a two or three that maybe you could pick, and then the calf won't work for them very well, and so it's a tough one. But let's give them a round of applause. We'll talk briefly about them a little bit. The young lady with the great big steer, she does a very good job, and he's obviously a big one. So it takes a pretty big person just to get him in and out of here, but she's done a nice job with that. The young lady that I'm right square in front of, when she come in, she was pretty nervous. You know, I talked to her a little bit, and you could actually see her confidence building. So hats off to you, young lady. You've built confidence just coming out here and being involved, and that's really what this is learning by doing. And you can watch these kids progress just in 5 minutes, and it's awful good to see. These two siblings right here have got last year's bucket calves, and we can tell that they're extremely tame. And you know, it's just as hard to show a real tame one as it is a wild one, but they've done a very nice job. Then the young man right behind them's got another young heifer that's done a good job, and actually I would really put the hats off to the young man showing the bull. He's actually the best showman we have in this group, but showing the bull's tough. And he's just to the point where he probably needs a noselead. But let's give him a round of applause, because he's going to be your showman that's going to get asked back in this group.
Congratulations to Kason Allington of Wymore. He is the Purple Award winner out of that 4th class. Receiving blues, Kate Heat-Dirks, Briar Myers, Quinn Seabrandt, Luke Heat-Dirks, and Calvin Bowman. At the ring should be our 5th class of junior showmen. This is our 5th and final class of juniors. Following this class, we will need the 1st and 2nd Purple Award winners. From the first 4 classes, you'll come back to compete for the champion junior showman. Following selection of the champion juniors, we'll bring back the top 4 from both the senior and intermediates to compete against the top 4 junior for your overall showman here at the Gage County Fair. Following selection of the overall showman, that's when we'll go into the Pee Wee Showmanship. If you're here for that today, just need to find an exhibitor to make sure it's okay to use their animals. Need to have an exhibitor or adult. Be out there with your child. There is no sign up for that. Just meet at the gate. It will probably be broken into several classes. Final call for our Purple Award winners from the first 2 classes of our juniors. Please make your way to the ring.
Well, once again, as we get in this heat, let's thank all these young folks for their efforts. You know, it's when you're at this age and you're learning how to do it, it's the best thing to do is just do it and watch your siblings and watch the older kids show earlier in the day and kind of catch on. And if you like it, come back and do it again next year, because then the next year and then the next year. And by the time you're a senior, your confidence will have grown and your abilities will have changed. And you know what? Hats off to all of you, because that's what 4-H and FFA are all about. I'm going to pick one again, and it'll be this young man with the white heifer. We're going to give all the rest of them a tie for second. Let's give him another big hand as we ask him to come back.
Top Purple Award winner in that class that'll come back and compete for the overall junior is Isaiah Schnelly of Beatrice. Receiving blues in Class 5 of juniors, Hudson Swanson, Clara Farringer, Riker Ray, Lawson Cook, Ivy Holzing, and Chapel Bergen. Once again, First State Bank of Nebraska does have popcorn just to the west of the the show ring here by the overhead door. Feel free to grab a free popcorn. Entering the ring is going to be our selection for the champion and reserve champion, as well as the 3rd and 4th junior showman. Your juniors competing for the overall Junior Showman Award. From the first class is Ella Schnelly and Blakely Katz. From the second class, Grayson Krause and Collins Meir. From the third class, Dempsey Dorn, Corbin Schroeder, Marie Lovell, Fourth class, Kason Allington. And from the fifth class, it was just completed, Isaiah Schnelly. Once again, this is for the champion and reserve, as well as the third and fourth junior showman. Following this, if you were one of the top four from the seniors or intermediates, please start making your way to the ring. You will compete for the overall showmanship award following this junior selection. Following that, we will have Pee Wee Showmanship. Following Pee Wee's Showmanship, there will be a quick lunch break. It is undetermined at this time how long that will be, most likely the 15 to 20 minute range. Following Pee Wee's Showmanship, we'll try to pick a time either at the top of the hour or the quarters to come up with an exact time. That way you guys are able to get your animals prepared at the time that you need. Once again, that'll follow Pee Wee's Showmanship. That exact time will be announced as we get closer to that.
Well, hats off to all these young showmen, and not just the ones that got asked back. If I were the parents or the grandparents or the 4-H leaders to any one of these kids, I'd be quite proud. And you know, one thing is their attitude, the way they come in, the way they go out. They know they aren't all going to win. Let's give all of them a round of applause. Pretty well had a kind of an idea before they came out here, and it's just the way the cattle have worked for them and the way the youngsters have probably had just a little more experience. But this young lady, this young man, and this young blonde man and the young lady, these four right here in the middle are the ones we're going to work with just a little bit longer. And let's give the other ones a round of applause as they leave the ring. Final call for our top 4 senior as well as intermediate showmen. Please bring your animals up to the ring. Well, once again, excellent young showman, and it's really, really neat to see as many senior showmen as we saw earlier. We had nearly as many seniors as we did in the younger classes, and that's not always happening in a lot of places, so hats off to all you. Champion, in my opinion, in this group is pretty easy for me, and that'll be this young lady over to my left. She'll be your champion. The heifer worked with her so well. And that's what makes it easy for a judge, is when the heifer will stay with the young lady and respond to the halter as well as she has. Now, for reserve, it's a little tougher. The young man that's right in front of me does an excellent job, but heifer's kind of getting to where she's had enough, and it's to his disadvantage. The next two, it's very, very close. It's going to narrow down to you two, but this young man that's turning around out here will be your reserve. The young lady over there will be third, and this young man with the big heifer will be fourth. Congratulations to all of them. Your champion, junior showman, goes to Blakely Katz of Beatrice. Reserve champion, junior Grayson Kraus. Third is Corbin Schroeder, and fourth is Collins Muir. Okay. Collins, I believe, was the third overall. Corbin was fourth. In the ring now, this is our selection for the overall showman. Champion senior showman was Tatum Schroeder, reserve Luke Katz. Also from seniors, Hayden Warner and Dayton Pullman. Your intermediates, champion was Dayton Dorn, reserve Laney Tronick. Third, Corbin Kuntz. Fourth, Emmeline Burkett. Out of our juniors, Blakely Katz was the champion. Grayson Kraus was reserve. Also in the ring, Collins Muir and Corbin Schroeder. Well, let's give all 12 of these young folks, as well as their counterparts, a round of applause, and I'll pick 4 out. We're going to work just a little more. We're going to pick these 3 seniors and this young lady right here to come back, okay? We're going to work you just a little bit more, and then we're going to say congratulations and thank you. It's been fun working with quality young folks. Again, your attitudes and the way you work are just superb. Let's give them all a round of applause. We'll leave these 4 for just a little bit. Following the selection of our overall showman, we will have Pee Wee Showmanship. Once again, if you are here for that, go ahead and talk to an exhibitor about borrowing one of their animals. Do need to have an exhibitor or the adult family member or older youth to help the individual out in the ring. There is no sign up for it. Just get lined up at the gate and they'll determine the class breaks at that point. Following Pee Wee Showmanship, we will stop to have a quick lunch break in that 15 to 20 minute range. This depends on how the time lands. Once we get to that point, we'll make that known. I got an official notice. We are going to start the market animals at noon today. So after selection of this, we'll run through Pee Wee, and then at noon will be the start of the market steers. I've often said that I'd much rather judge cattle than kids showing cattle, and I usually say that in a term loosely because it's much harder for me, and it's just what you prefer. And you've got 4 excellent showmen that come out of 12 that come out here that are going to battle for years, and that's really, really fun. The older kids I've already placed is where do we plan with this young lady that's right behind them, but I'm going to leave them just as they come in. Let's give him a round of applause. She'll be your champion. He'll be reserve third and fourth.
We would like to thank Security First Bank for sponsoring. This is their 80th year of sponsoring the overall Showman Awards here at the Gage County Fair. Congratulations, your champion overall showman goes to Tayton Schroeder. Reserve champion, Luke Katz. Third overall, Hayden Warner. And fourth overall showman, congratulations, Dayton Dorn. Once again, thank you to Security First Bank, longtime 80-year sponsor of this award here at the Gage County Fair. We will now move into the Pee Wee Showmanship. This is put on and sponsored by Farm Credit Services of America, as well as the Gage County Ag Society. If you have a youth that would like to participate in this, just need to have an exhibitor or another adult go in with the animal with you. Once again, heads up in the barn. At noon today, we will start with class number 1 in the market heifers. That will be at noon today.
Well, I was wishing to get them all in here at one time, but it's obviously not going to happen. It's not that we couldn't probably have made it work, but some of these kids want to show some of the calves. So we're going to let these kids go out here in just a second. We'll bring in the others, but we're going to use the same speech for both contests. I believe we've got a winner, and it's all of them. Let's congratulate them all. They're winners, okay?
As these peewees enter or leave the ring here today, they are receiving a gift bag. Once again, thank you to Farm Credit Services of America, as well as the Gage County Ag Society. Entering in the ring is our second group here of Pee Wee Showmen. I believe hopefully, or this might be the final group. Once again, the executive decision has been made at 12 noon. We will start with class number 1 market heifers. If you're in the barn and you have a market heifer, you need to start getting those ready. Then we'll start at 12 noon.
Well, I believe we've got through them, and it's been very enjoyable, and I don't think anybody got stepped on. Again, as I said before, we have a winner. It's all of them. Let's give them a round of applause as they leave the ring.
Congratulations, kids. Great job. Great job to the people who are back in the barn and raising these animals and helping these kids as they get their first taste of the show ring. So we appreciate it. Again, thanks to Farm Credit Services of America, Gage County Ag Society. This is one of their favorite events as we build the future show kids for the arena here at the Gage County Fair. So congratulations to all of you, and thanks for coming out for Pee Wee Showmanship today. You're welcome to come back for the sheep showmanship tonight, or the broilers, or they've showed the rabbits tomorrow. You're welcome to do Pee Wee Showmanship in any of the species. So congratulations to all of you. Reminder, the 4-H and FFA kids, if you haven't done your market livestock premium auction form, after today we should only have those left who have swine. So we want to make sure we get you in the premium auction Sunday afternoon here. Thank you again. Have a good rest of the beef show.